G'day guys, Tom here from Different Drop. Now, if you are a wine lover, you probably know all about the Barossa Valley, big reds, big Shiraz, Grenache blends, etc. We're looking today at two wines that are totally different for the Barossa and wines that have really excited us in the last few months. So the first of those is the non-vintage Barossa Magnolia Blanc. So Barossa is the project of Brett Grokey, who's a fifth generation winemaker, viticulturist in the Barossa. His forefathers back in the 1840s, 1850s helped found wineries like Jacobs Creek and some of the really iconic names in the valley. Brett spent most of his career in a viticulture capacity. He's got access to vineyards, incredible old vineyards all around the Barossa. And since about 2005, he's had this label doing small batches of really interesting things, old vine Shiraz, Grenache, some really quirky blends. Culminating in Brett actually being named James Halliday's Winemaker of the Year last year. An amazing achievement for Brett and one of our favourite Barossa producers too. So this is Magnolia. It's Semillon, 3 vintages, 2017, 2018, 2019. Different vineyard sources too. So about 70% of this is 80-year-old vineyards and some 30 and 50-year-old vineyards too. You can see by the beautiful golden colour of this wine. It's all about texture, richness, it's barrel fermented, but it doesn't go into that kind of flabby, oily sort of style. It does retain freshness, really lovely balance. Yeah, I personally love that style, love textural whites, complex, lots going on. Has these honeyed, sort of apricot, peachy notes, but then this really interesting kind of mineral, oyster, seashell character as well. Just definitely a different wine for the Barossa and one you should check out. All right, moving on to a really interesting label you may not have seen. This is Phase 3 Wines, Darrow 2021. Now, Phase 3 Wines is the project of Ben Kelly and wife Sabina. Ben, I got to know years ago, used to work at a great wine shop in Sydney called Wine Culture. Moved from there with his wife up to the Central Coast. They bought a fish and chip shop up there, which they ran for many years, and then wanted to sea change back into wine, back into the country, and moved back to the Barossa for what he called Phase 3 of his life, with their young family there. And Ben's a wine nut, loves all those old vine Barossa wines, and the idea was to try and source fruit from some great vineyards and craft wines that are all about drinkability. So this is the second release of this wine. It's a really interesting wine. Last year's was really meaty and savoury. This year's has a little bit of Pinot blended in, some Eden Valley Pinot. Some of the previous vintage of Darrow actually blended in as well. And it's a beautiful, elegant, silky, sort of perfume style of Barossa Shiraz. The fruit comes from about 5 different sites across the valley. So some old vines in Flaxman and other parts of the region. Ben and Sabina have actually planted their own vineyard too there in Flaxman Valley, which will come online in the next couple of years, which is really exciting. I love that. Medium bodied, still plenty of depth and power and concentration, but has this clear, like red fruited, almost penosity to it, which I dare say is from the component of Eden Valley Pinot in the wine. Really unlike any other Barossa Shirazes you'll taste. This is really distinct. A couple of wines from the likes of Peter Shell and Spinifex might look a little bit like this sort of more elegant, old world style, but still really looks like the Barossa. A really interesting label. The packaging is legit, that's how it comes in a paper bag. It's good fun. Only about 100 dozen of each of these wines made too. So really small batch, interesting, different Barossa expressions and the kind of stuff that really excites us here. So check them out. We've got a little bit left in the store and we'll be back again soon. Cheers.